This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, hi Manoj, can you hear me?
This conference will now be recorded.
So thank you for joining the training and also, yeah, starting off. So while we start, I remember you gave me a brief introduction, like you were looking for specifically to learn the entire Qlik Sense capability. So are you working on any project or how is this?
Actually, I have total experience of 9 years in the BI tools, right? So,
Okay.
so I worked on the MicroStrategy and the Power BI, but mostly I worked on the MicroStrategy. But my organization moved on new application Qliksense, right? So that's why I'm
Qlik
looking
Sense.
perfect training sessions for on this. Those I know the Qliksense, how the visualization and the chart preparation is happening in the Qliksense front end. Just I need
Uh-huh.
more deep and deep knowledge on the backend scripting in the Qliksense.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so currently I'm working on the project also. So that's why I need some more insights and some more scripting
Okay.
knowledge in.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Cool. Thanks, Manoj. Yeah. So I hope you got the previous two videos just to recap in
Yeah,
what we deploy.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, just to recap, there are different deployment modules. One is
Mhm.
on-prem server where you get license and you deploy it in your premise. So what is your company doing? I mean, is the project on-prem or is it you're using SaaS?
No, so here little bit I am confused because I am not totally from the IT background. So
Okay.
I mean to say that
No. Hmm.
just we using the SQL and the as a front end as a Qliksense, right? So I connect the SQL server to the Qliksense and then I'm creating the reports directly from there.
Okay. No. Okay. How is the Qliksense URL? Is it something called ap.cloud.com or is it like your different IP address or local URL?
Yeah, I think it's my company server based.
Company service. Okay. Right. So it is an on-prem deployment and there are different licensing models.
Yeah.
One is user-based model where you have professional user and analyzer. So I'm assuming you have a professional user.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I can create and create app and
correct.
I think I can also publish the report also. Yep.
Correct. Yeah. So there are different the other kind of license is core based, so you can publish course.
Mhm.
Then there are three file types in Qlik, which you already would have known. So one is the
Mhm.
QVF file, which is generated in Qliksense. Two is the storage file, which is the QED file. And
Yeah.
three, not much I mean, so this is something that not many people know when they start using upfront, but as you work in a large project, QVS
Mhm.
file comes to a lot of play. So you can use custom script. So it's a script file. So we'll see as we go forward.
Okay.
Right.
So,
So
on that part, I have one question in file type. Yeah. So
yeah,
QVF file is like where we are creating the charts, right?
correct.
Right. And QED file
Yeah,
where we store the data, right?
yeah, yeah.
And QVS file is known as
Script file.
a
So
script
it's a
file. Okay.
text file. Yeah, it
Okay.
is
So
just stored as
where we
dot.
type, code, right? Where we code, that is called a QVS file, right?
Uh, no, no. See, you code in a QVF file only. You write script over here,
Okay.
script code over here. So
Okay.
QVS is like a .qvs file. So when working in a large project, what happens is, suppose,
Hmm.
so I don't know the structure of your organization. For example, if you if you're joining a big organization which has
Mhm.
multiple departments, so you'll write multiple QVFs, right? So you'll have one
Right.
HR, one finance. You'll have for HR, finance. You'll have
Yeah.
for
One for call center, one for HR, one for operations, like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. You can have for multiple. What happens
Hmm.
is, now assuming there is a certain common data set for you write script, so you you have common data set, you transform this data set, so you write a particular script. Now this is a
Mm-hmm.
common script, right? So it is common for all the apps rather than writing in every app. So here you can write the script code rather than writing in every QVF. You kind of store this common into common.qvs, right? So this
Okay.
script is stored here. You can refer to that script or call that script into this app.
Okay. So it's a kind of it's a kind of
Yeah.
function in the Qlik Sense, right?
All
Where
right.
we can
Okay.
call.
No, I won't say it function. It is just
Okay.
like storing code. See, whatever script I have written here, I will store it in QVS. And whenever I call this QVS, whatever is there in the script, it will run. I can't pass parameters. Like in a function, you can pass parameters,
Pass the
but here
parameters. Yeah.
just yeah, it's just that you're calling the script. You don't pass any parameters.
Mhm.
You just rather than writing the script, you call the script.
Okay.
We'll see when we reach
Hmm.
there, you'll understand.
Yeah.
Right. So we saw this in the earlier session. Whatever we do within Qlik Sense, I'm sure even you have understood by now, we do it in QVF file. Right.
Right.
Whatever we process, we do it in QVF file. A
Mm-hmm.
QVF file will contain the script data model and also the data when it goes into in memory. So QVF file also contains data. So when it is stored on the it is more like a flat file. It is stored on the server, and it always contains the data last reloaded. Suppose I reload it at 9 a.m. So till the 9 a.m. data would be available in the QVF.
QVF
Now
file. Yeah.
QVF is the file, yeah, is the file that goes into the RAM. So it goes into the memory of the server, and basically you can schedule reloads for this QVF file. Right? Now the capability of QVF is like you already have worked. You can connect to any database, fetch the data, and process it. So that is our uh, in your case it was SQL server. You can connect to any data source. So QVF has various connectors to connect to any data source. Now, like I said, you can schedule reloads. So whenever you schedule reloads, QVF capability is always a full refresh. So this is crucial point to understand that QVF always does a full refresh. It connects to any database. So when I do a second load, 9 a.m. I did one load, so it brought in 1,000 records. Again, like 1 p.m. I do another record. If there are 100 new records, it will again bring those 1000 plus 100, 1100 records. Same thing for the third reload, it will bring those all the records. So every time I refresh a QVF, it will query the DB with the entire data set. So that in real time, real life scenarios becomes a challenge, because how much load would your SQL server take? One. Two, if it is a transactional system, then it is a disaster. Three, it takes a lot of time, right? So if it is taking 5 minutes for 1,000 records, second time it will take 5 minutes plus whatever extra time for the new records. So as the
Mhm.
number of records increase, your time to refresh, do a full refresh, always keep increasing, which becomes a very challenging task,
Yeah.
right? So it becomes a very big challenge. Just give me a second. All right. So that is where, because of these challenges, right? So that is where Qlik, also a company, brought in the QED storage format. So what QED does, it takes it, we take data from the database. Rather than directly loading it to the QVF file, we store it into an intermediate storage called QED. QED is also like a flat file. So what
Mhm.
generally happens is, what the best practice what you can do is, from the database fetch and store QEDs one to one. So if you have one table, you can store one QED. So QED is like a table, and one table stored in a flat file. So there is no cube, there is no multiple table, there is no, you can't do all of those things. It is just a single table flat file. So the question is, okay, here it is one step which is taking 5 minutes. Here we are bringing two steps, right? One from database to QED, then QED to
Mhm.
application. So there might be a question, why two step? Does two step increase the timeline? So this is where a little deeper understanding of how QED and QVF works. QED, because it's Qlik proprietary storage format, compresses data 1:10 times. When we connect QVF or we query QVF, QED data into QVF, it is very, very fast. For example, if I say, if the data is taking 5 minutes to load from a database, the similar kind of data set would take less than 5 seconds to 10 seconds to load from a QED. So if I bring in the same number of records. So this becomes a very highly optimized load. Now, how does this help us in our overall project? When I do first day, right? So because QED is a storage format, I can do incremental. So first day, I do incremental I bring in all the 1,000 records. Let's assume I took 5 minutes. Then I took 5 seconds to load to the final QVF. So my first day 9 a.m. load took 5 minutes, 5 seconds. At 1 p.m., I just do the update. So because QED stored is having historical data, I load only those 100 records. That should take me around 30 seconds into the QED. Now QED has 1100 records. It will still do a full load to the QVF in 5 seconds. So that is roughly 35 seconds, right? So my second load onwards, I'm saving almost 4 minutes, because I'm able to do a refresh within 35 seconds. When I say refresh, refresh from the source DB to QVF, this complete cycle of new data.
Okay.
Similarly, subsequent reloads are same thing. So you can manage update, insert, update, delete. So in incremental QED storage.
Okay.
So this way we optimize this reload, and you'll get a clear idea of how optimized this load is.
Okay.
Right. Now QED, while we work with QEDs, right, it is just not
Mhm.
uh, like a simple storage mechanism. So this is where QEDs play a lot of pivotal role. So in QEDs, while you understood this 5 minutes, right? Generally, QED have a lot of capabilities. This is where the scripting comes to play also. Do you use any data warehouse in your company? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So where you use data warehouse, it is still okay. Maybe you might not apply so many layers of aggregation, but
Mhm.
historically, Qlik has always been selling or telling customers that you don't need a data warehouse. The reason being,
Okay.
for example, I have tables. So in QEDs, I can create one-to-one table, right? So if there is one table, I'll create similar number of QEDs. So 5 tables, 5 QEDs. So I am going to process incremental into these tables and manage them. So it is just creation of one-to-one data.
Okay. So every table, it will create a separate file, right?
Yes, separate file. So in data warehouse, if you already have a good data warehouse, you might not end up doing this. But in general, like you can do this. I'll tell you why you might end up doing this.
Mhm.
In a transactional system, imagine I don't have to hit the transactional tables every time. I can bring that data into QEDs, and we call this as layers. Right? So what we can do is we can build layers. So this will be layer one. Right? So I
Okay.
can say layer two. Layer 2 can be a combination of QED. I mean, it is
Okay.
aggregation.
Multiple
So if you
tables.
understand the
Okay.
ETL, yeah,
Yeah.
you can create a ETL kind of a aggregation.
So if I need to create a new table based on the table 2 and table 3, it will create, right?
Right, exactly. You're right. So I can create this kind of aggregation. So you know the ETL concept, right? In ETL also
Right.
basically what we do, we bring in
Uh,
the transactional tables and then process them and do aggregation.
aggregation. Right.
Right? Then so the advantage in QED is there's no restriction on the number of layers you can have. You can have
Okay.
any number of layers. So this allows you to do a lot of aggregation and processing of data to get to some right data sets.
Because so it
So
will
what
hamper the
happens?
it will hamper the load timings when we if we create these types of layers in the QED.
It does. It depends on what kind of data you're managing. Imagine if I am managing uh, lakhs of records. The
Mm-hmm.
advantage is first I'm doing incremental and this processing can be incremental. So end of the day, what happens is QED not only applies for one app, right? If you remember my first example, I might have
Mm-hmm.
multiple apps, HR, finance, sales, call center. Rather
Right.
than calculating these data into every app, I can create final output QEDs and I can bring in multiple apps and use these QEDs into those apps,
Okay.
right? So that is one major advantage of having QEDs also. The thing is, rather than querying the same data set for different apps, I can store the data and reference that data into these QED, into these apps from the QED. So the QED layer does not have any restriction as to how many QEDs you can create, what can I do. And in the final, right, I don't have to use only layer 3 QEDs. For example, in my analysis, I might want to use the bare granular level data, which is QED from here. I can use that QED. So
Okay.
this becomes like my QED repository though, but it does not restrict me from which QED I can use data. I can use data
Mhm.
from layer 1, I can use data from layer 3.
Okay.
So, and I can have multiple QEF apps. So the advantage that I'll have is all the apps, I don't have to process the same data again. I can use it, connect and load the data.
Mhm. Okay.
So now, so This is the overall advantage of having QEDs and layers.
Okay. So one question: if we create a layer by layer, or when we fetch all the QVD tables and the layer 1 tables and layer 2 tables, so it will not getting a duplicate matrix or what we call that attributes.
No, see, that is where you'll have to plan that out. Ideally, you plan that aggregation, right? So, for example, your QED layer might have detail for every territory ID, but in layer 3, you might just aggregate it at one territory ID. So you will have the same attribute, territory ID, but at a different granular level. In Qlik,
Okay.
the associative engine will take care of that. As we go forward, you'll see that Qlik associative engine takes care of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That part is clear.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So let's start off with the understanding
And
what
one more thing, actually, I want to install a free version on my system also. Because I have the access on web application, but I can't create a QVD file on, because I have not that type of access level in my web portal, right? So just I want to create in the desktop version, whatever I learn through this training.
Okay. So there's no free version. There is a trial version, or because you already have a web version, right? So you
Right.
will be installing desktop on the same laptop, your work laptop itself, right?
Okay. Okay. So can you go through that process? How can I do that?
Yeah. You'll have to work with your IT team for this.
Mm-hmm.
So let me explain that process, right? So this is, if this is your UR, this is the server, right? So your IT team will have to give you a link over here. So you see these three buttons. This is
Right.
the URL which you might be connecting. When you log
Mm-hmm.
in, when you click here, it will show you a desktop authentication link, right?
Okay.
So you can ask your IT team to give you a desktop authentication link so that you can install Qliksense desktop and use it. So from like June, right? June 2020, they made desktop as a, they took off the free version of desktop. Now desktop is also licensed only. For that, you need to have a professional license access, which you already have. So all you have
Mm-hmm.
to do is install Qliksense desktop and ask for a desktop authentication link from your IT team. Basically, okay, if who manages the QA management console in your team?
Uh, there is a guy in the US, so he will create that. So I have the access of QMC, but not the configuration part.
Okay, basically what you will have to do is go to virtual proxies,
Okay.
right? If you have this, or if you don't have this access, you'll have to ask him. There's this
Mm-hmm.
client authentication link. You see this?
Okay. Okay.
So you, all you have to do is go to start, go
Mm-hmm.
to virtual proxies,
Virtual proxies.
go
Then click
to
on that.
whichever central
Mm-hmm.
virtual proxy. There might be multiple. You can choose. I think central virtual proxy is good. Then you can go to client authentication link. Then you can
Okay.
just give, say, desktop link. Okay, sorry, not this. You'll have to give your server address.
Okay. Whatever I have, okay, I need to
Yeah,
put over there. Okay.
desktop link.
And
One is this, then you can hit generate. Okay, so this will get generated. Right.
okay.
This link you'll have to take. All you have to do is go to any browser, just hit this. It will authenticate that for you. Okay, I don't have a desktop link. In the desktop, it will give you an option to select, okay, connect to a server or connect to a browser. You can just connect to that. respective, you can use this link and authenticate it. So once you authenticate it, you'll be able to access the desktop.
So this will
then you can do it.
this link take me to the desktop installation website, or
No. So basically, you have a partner. Okay, let me just tell you something. You can just register to. You can
Qlik?
register on
Yeah, I
qlik.com.
already did that. Yeah.
Okay. Then if you go here, when you go to downloads, what do you see? Do you get
So I download
ap.qlik.com?
the software also. I have the package on my system. Just I not installed that because tomorrow I installed that, and trying to open that app. It's giving me two options: one for the authentication link, and second is the for registration. So I do the
Correct. You
registration.
need. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so when I click on the authentication button, it will take me some link on the browser, but it could not open. I don't know why it's not open. It's saying that your network is not authenticated or something like that. So maybe that link which you are talking about, I need to put that link over there and then click, right, like that.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's the link that you have to use for that authentication link. And register is you need to register on Qlik Cloud. So I don't think
Okay.
you need to do it for the Qlik Cloud. You can do it on the authentication. If you want, you can share your screen and show that.
Uh,
If you want, I can help you with QMC also. Yeah.
Yeah, so for that I need to reinstall that application. Actually, I removed that application.
Oh, okay. No worries. Yeah, just take it. See the UI, what I'm showing and desktop is not much of a difference. It's just,
Okay.
yeah, it's
So,
just that you might not see
just
these
one question.
streams.
In desktop, I can create a QED file or not in desktop version
Yes, you
if
can
I install.
create. See the,
Yeah,
yeah.
but in the web
See in
version,
the
if I
server.
try to create a QED file, I can't because I have not that type of access level, right?
No, so you need to check. See, you have a professional level access. You can create QEDs, but those QEDs would be stored on the server that you have deployed. For example, this is a prod server that I have deployed, right? So the QEDs would be stored on this server. So you need to have that server folder permission. So you need to create connection. As we go forward, you'll see you need to create a connection to any specific folder and store the
Mhm.
QEDs. In the local, if it is a desktop client, then you store those QEDs. Everything what you do will be on your local machine, which will help you do everything, right? So it will be on your local machine.
Okay, okay, got it.
All right. So you understand the in-memory concept, right? So this is the
Right.
QEF file which goes into in-memory. So when we say in-memory, this file goes into in-memory RAM of the server that you have deployed on. So the end user's RAM is not utilized. For the end user, it is just a URL-based access. You would be
Right.
connecting and picking up data. And for everything else, it would be through memory, in memory of that particular server. So whatever
So so
processing
uh,
would
so
be
so
on,
sorry to interrupt you. Yeah.
no, it's,
So here I have one question, and that can we clear this in-memory caches on when we run the when we get the updated report front end in the Qliksense?
no, basically what happens is this app is in memory. When the user connects, the app is, he connects to the app in memory. Whatever he selects is processed in the memory. So
Okay.
uh, it is all managed by the engine. So you can't create a pre-cache for any calculation. So it is on the
Okay.
fly basis what the user is asking questions or filtering. He gets the results for that.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Okay. The next biggest thing of Qlik is the associative engine. So let's quickly run through that. I will. So you already know this. This is the hub. When you open,
Mhm.
I am the user. Work area is everything that I create and develop. Published is what I have published to other users.
Right.
These are called streams. Streams are like categories, right? So you can have multiple streams. You can have sales, finance, HR. Within
Mm-hmm.
each stream, you have multiple apps,
Yes.
right? So each app can connect to various databases, build the data sources, and build various analysis on it. So
Right.
each you can have multiple apps. You deploy all these apps into each stream, and of course you can govern who gets access to which stream and
Mm-hmm.
which app is available to which user in which stream. So you can govern that, and again within the app you build security. So you build row level security within the app. Now I have this executive dashboard. I open this. So this is the app that comes in. Uh, since you have already explored, this is the app overview. One app
Mm-hmm.
can have multiple sheets. So these are all the sheets that a developer has defined. So a developer has already built. As a
Right.
user, I can't edit the public sheets in a published app. I can edit them. I can create new sheets, which under my sheet option. Now I
So you
have a
create this sheet as a duplicate at your access level, and you can edit this, right?
yes, I can do that. Yes,
Yeah.
but that would be my personal sheet. Nobody else would be. It wouldn't be visible to anybody else.
Okay.
Now that I have this, I have the dashboard ready. So the way Associative Engine works is this entire data set in the backend, right? It might be
Mm-hmm.
multiple tables from different databases is associated in nature. So I will explain and discuss what that association is. It is associated in nature. Basically, associations are built through primary keys, primary key foreign key relationships. Once that is done, so I have various charts and graphs that are built. The advantage of associative engine is, for example, I want to see, okay, uh, I'll take help. I'll use the other example. The moment I select anything, that becomes my selection, and I see all the data related to that selection. So in this case, I have high priority, medium priority, low priority. I say average case resolution time. Operations is high because it is dark in nature. Of course, in number count, systems development is high, but color represents the priority with most open cases. So in fact, operations has highest open cases. So if I click on operation, then the moment I click on it, entire dashboard filters the data for that particular selection. So now when I confirm it, so my context is set that I'm looking at operations owner group, and for that I have high priority cases 1, medium 6, low 4. Who is the sales? It is Revis Jackson who is managing this group, right? And how many open cases and closed over a period of time. So I know, are these guys spending right time? Historically, it is taking too much time, or is it on time?
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So what happens is I can build the. This is the way an associative engine works.
Got it. So here I have one question on so when you click on any graph, it will impact all the graph which are present in that sheet, right? But if I want to manage, if I want to only click change certain graphs based on that um, app- graph, how can we do that?
Yeah. So uh, it's straight away not possible. Like I can't select and deselect charts or graphs. But yes,
Okay.
there is a possibility. So as we start working development, so we have something to give you a heads up and for you to explore. We have alternate states which we can do, and we
Yeah.
can categorize certain filters to certain charts and certain graphs. So we can split that.
Because
So
yeah, because in MicroStrategy it's very easy, but in the Qlik view, what I saw that there is not that type of options available.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, it is the if you have to see it, it is the other way around. So what happens is
Mhm.
in MicroStrategy, Tableau, or Power BI, you have to sit and link each object, right?
Yeah,
So
you
if
can
I
link. Yeah.
understand, yeah. Yeah, you can link it. So one is it does definitely gives you development freedom of choice, but over there, imagine if you have to sit and do if the end user self-service perspective, it becomes a challenge. So one thought while you're doing development in Qliksense, right, you need to think more towards the user end, right? So more than a developer perspective, the whole objective of Qliksense is to give self-service capabilities to the user. Of course, you do that data modeling, scripting, and focus on the front end. But more than the front end, I think the focus is for us to enable the backend for the end user to do self-service. So the association and all, the requirement is when the user, for example, he comes, he sees your 5 sheets. All he wants to do is create a new sheet, drag, drop. The end user challenge comes in that he does not want to sit and link tables, right? Charts,
Hmm.
graphs, he doesn't want to link. So for him, he just needs everything associated. What he wants to do is basically, just to give you an idea, so let's assume I brought case count. So the moment I brought in one field, which is a measure field, it understood a measure and created KPI
Uh-huh.
object. The moment I add a case owner, one dimension, it will create to a bar chart. If I add a group owner group, it will convert to a bar chart. So similarly, I can create for open cases and priority. So what happens is, as a user, look at my perspective as a user, right? I didn't have to do anything. The moment I see systems is high, the moment I click on systems, I know what is the priority and who is the case owner. So as a user, for me, work is less, right? Associating the charts. As a developer, yes, I might want to control individual chart, make sure I link, not link. But as a user who is doing self-service, it is completely free for me to explore. So even when you're building your projects internally for your company, I think you should drive the thought process in your business requirements towards this kind of view, right? Where you enable the end user to do self-service rather than building something very rock solid. So if your company is planning to build a very static in nature or guided, the term that is used is guided analytics, you need to rethink of this. Qliksense is more self-service oriented and it has good capabilities. That
Okay.
is what I was talking about. The moment I select something, it is green. So on top I
Mm-hmm.
have selections. So what I select is green. Whatever is associated is white. And what is not associated is actually gray, which also gives me certain hidden values. For example, let me select low priority. So low priority is green. So it also tells me that there are no low priority cases in hardware request, new request. All low priority are general IT support, which is good. High priority, everything is in general hardware, new request, nothing in software request.
Mm.
So what I
Okay.
select is green, whatever is associated is white, and what is not associated is basically gray.
Okay.
Okay, so this is so now whatever I'm doing is happening in the RAM of the server. The moment I'm clicking anything, if I click IT infrastructure, it is in the RAM. It is getting processed in the RAM. To the question of cache that you had, of course, I can't define as a developer what cache or predefined calculations. But when I clicked operations first time, that is cached for the user. For I'm the user, it is cached. Second time when I click operations, it will again show me that same calculation. It won't recalculate it. So that is at a user level, engine manages that calculation.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So now I can create multiple apps. So let me create a new app. I will say sales SQL. So since you would be doing a offline thing on your desktop, you can install SQL Server. Let me explain what you would need.
Yeah, I have installed that.
Express Edition, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can install SQL Express Edition and add AdventureWorks data. So it's a sample data set you can connect. So that is what even I have. So creation of app is simple. Create new app, open app. Now this launches the UI. The moment I create an app, like I said, everything you do is within the app, but the first thing that you need to do in the app is bring in data. So there are two methods. One is add data. Second is script editor. Script editor is the old method that we used to do. And of course, it is still the preferred method for a developer because when you want to do advanced things, that is where you do it in the scripting. Add data is a wizard based. So the idea is, like I said, the focus is self-service. So you enable the end user to do his self-service and create information. So of course, it also helps the developer to quick start. For example,
Yeah.
I can say add data from files.
Azra, here I have one question. Can you go back?
Yeah. Okay. Then let it
Yeah,
initialize.
it's
What
enlightening.
is
Yeah.
the question?
So uh, in another BI, you can directly click on the. There is a place where we can write the sequels, right? But in the edit, if you click on the edit script, it will not give you directly to write your personal tables name or fields name. Is that
Here? No, it does. It does. It is
it? Does? Okay.
both ways. It helps you do that. So you can write personal scripts. I mean, we'll see that as we go forward. I'll take you through the scripting process. In scripting, you can do a lot of things.
Okay. Because I try at my
So,
end also. I'm also doing step by step with you, but I am not getting like that. That's why I asked this.
okay. Well, you tried this Sales SQL Server. You're able to open the app. No, I didn't
Yeah,
get it. What are you trying?
yeah. Actually, I am also doing the same steps what you are doing right now, right? So
Okay.
basically, I want to write manual scripting, right? So manual inserting the tables and the tables field in this script. So I'm
Okay.
not.
Okay. Now I'll show you that. So don't worry. If you're trying that, then you try this. You just click
Okay.
on add data from files and other sources.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go step by step. We'll figure out this wizard based, which is the
Mm-hmm.
first step, and then we'll move into scripting, which is more core based, right? So now
Okay.
I created a wizard. So I came to here, came over here. So it has a couple of options. It has bring data, upload data files. So you can bring any flat file, Excel,
Mm-hmm.
CSV, or QED files, drag and drop here, or you can connect to any data set database that you already have. Right. So you have, if you are connecting to Microsoft SQL Server, so click on Microsoft SQL Server and give the connection details. Right. You give the server name. In your case, because it is local thing, you give localhost. You give database name, which is AdventureWorks, and you give your user ID password. Right. So this will allow you to connect to your Microsoft SQL
So,
Server local.
okay. So when I give my local server, local machine name over there, it get that connection. It will take the connection.
Yeah, it will take the yes, it will take the connection. You can just
Can I
give
try?
localhost over here.
Yeah. Okay. Let me try this.
Yeah, go ahead and try. If that is not working, then you just choose ODBC.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, there was some error with the user ID password. So what I did was, if you want to connect to your local server, I went to ODBC.
Mm-hmm.
I created a system DSN.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you see here, this is my localhost XQL Express server. Yeah. Then once I have created this ODBC, which is system DSN, I can use ODBC option. So over here, I can see that system DSN SQL Server. Then I can connect to that. You can, if you want, you go ahead and try it out.
Okay, give me 1 minute.
Sure.
And so there is no username and password. Just let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Actually,
To
the
make
option is
you a
not
presenter.
enabled. The option is not
Yeah.
enabled at my end.
Yeah, just give me a second. I'll have to make you a presenter. Okay, you are the presenter now.
Yeah. So here I put the this my system server name, and so I need to put a database name also.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah. No, you'll have to give this username. Username is your local computer. When you just go back to the SQL server, just click on that connect. Yeah.
Okay.
Connect.
Yeah. So it's a window
Yeah.
authentication mode.
Right, because it's a local server, right? So this is a local server, or where is this server placed?
It's in on my system itself.
It's in okay. Then it is a local server. Yeah. You just give that entire username, Mercer, whatever your that
Okay.
username is there. You should take it. If it is not taking, it could also be some port issue. No, you need to give your Windows password over there.
Okay. Windows password. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever you log in, right? Same
Okay.
password.
And
But what you could do is, if this is not working, just go ahead and create a ODBC. That would be better.
612961.
No, is that the port for SQL Server? Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe I need to create the ODBC. Yeah.
I think ODBC is better because it gives you more clarity. The
Hmm.
port is always a little confusing. 64-bit, 60. Yeah.
Okay. So here is one thing that my Windows is in 32-bit and the application is 64-bit, right? So it will conflict
Yeah.
the.
No, I think 64-bit. Yeah.
Okay.
You go ahead and create 64. Your SQL Server is 64-bit or 32?
SQL Server is 64-bit.
Yeah, then that's fine. You need to select SQL. Yeah. Server, you need to give that server name. Just go to SQL Server. Just copy whatever is there over there. Yeah, you're able to connect here. So finish. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Now I need to
Cancel this. Yeah, cancel this. Click on ODBC. I think
not.
you just need to refresh the browser. You created
Okay.
system or user DSN over there, just to be sure.
Sorry. It's system based.
System based. Okay.
System DSN test.
Okay. Fine. So where are you based, Manoj?
Sorry.
Which location? Where? Which
I'm
location?
from the I'm from the Gurgaon location.
Gurgaon. Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so
It's strange.
it's
Click
not
on
coming.
32.
32. So we
Okay.
created in this
Yeah.
4 bits. So maybe it's not showing over here.
No. I realized. Sorry. You're using the URL, right? Nano bi
Yeah. Yeah.
ust.mercer.com. See, this is a
Martha.com.
server that is, yeah, this is a server, right? So the
Yeah.
system DSN that you created is your local machine. Local machine won't be available over here. You can't
Okay.
connect to your local machine from a server. A server
Yeah.
is
So
hosted elsewhere, right? So your local
yeah.
machine or IP address won't be identifiable for that server because it's a local
Mm.
server. So once
So
you have the desktop
that's why.
client, you will be able to.
Yeah. So that's why I asked you that if I set up a desktop version on my system and then I can create and link my associate databases to that, right?
Yes. See, now we have created system DSN. Once you have a desktop client, when you create
Mm.
an app, same thing. You come here, click on ODBC, you'll be able to connect, and then you'll be able to start using it.
Okay. For that, I need to be link take the link authentication link, right?
Yes, authentic. Just go to QMC. Let's see if you can.
Let me.
Or those three dots. Click on that. No, that three dots. You have, right? You already have. Click on that
Yeah,
client. No,
I
you see. Click on the
just
client authentication. Just,
click on the client authentication. Yeah.
yeah. Your desktop is installed.
No, I didn't install. Actually, I installed on Sunday, but then again I removed that.
No, you have the link. You don't have to go to anyone. Just install the desktop client and run this
Okay.
link. It will automatically open the desktop client for you.
Okay. Okay.
So when you
So
click on this,
you are telling me that this is the link, right?
this is the link. Yes.
Okay, give me a second. Sorry, I'm taking your extra time.
Yeah. No worries.
So now it's so where it is. So it's not opening. Maybe.
No. It should install completely first. Nothing will open in the browser.
Okay.
Yeah. It is just a link to authenticate your desktop. That's all. Nothing will open in the browser. When you click on it, it automatically launches your Qlik Sense desktop. And in Qlik Sense desktop, it will create a link. That's all.
Okay. But let me QMC. But if I click on the QMC, but if you
Hmm.
see, I have not the access on this
Yeah.
part, configuration
Yeah.
system.
You're a content admin, right? This is called
Yeah.
as content admin. You can work with
Okay.
apps and content, but you're not a root admin. So you need to be a root admin to get all of those access.
Okay. Okay. But I have the authentication link, right? This is my
Yeah.
authentication link.
Yes.
Okay, just my when my desktop is installed, just I need to hit again this link and it will authenticate with
Correct.
this, right?
Yeah. Just close this. Yeah. Close this and go to that browser and click on that link.
Okay.
So where you clicked,
Got it.
right? Just click on it. What it will do is it will create a link in the desktop client for this server. So next time whenever you open, it will authenticate against that server. So when you're offline, desktop client, when you open, I think it opens for 10 days. After that, you need to be connected to this server. So basically,
Okay.
right? So you
So
can use
basically,
offline.
every 10 days, I need to be refresh this,
Yes,
right? Okay.
yes. You don't have to do anything. You just
Mm-hmm.
have to be connected to your VPN where desktop can access this URL. You don't have to do manually anything,
Okay. Okay.
right? So see what happens is now once you connect, your desktop is authenticated and it is available for 10 days. Within this 10 days, right, what it does is it will randomly check the server. If it is again, it will again authenticate and it will allow you to continue to work. Now, suppose you went disconnected, you didn't connect to this Qliksense server hub for various days, and
Mm-hmm.
desktop client is not able to access it. So after 10 days, it will not allow you to log in. So it is like a lease for a couple of days. So it randomly keeps checking that license server. You don't have to manually decide, okay, check now, check then. It will do it by itself.
Okay. And Azra, one more request. While I am doing or sharing my the desktop, can you crop that from the recording?
Okay, so what we'll do then is, okay, today I couldn't. We
Okay.
will, okay, so yeah, I will stop recording whenever you want to share your screen. So let's be conscious. Cropping is something that becomes too much editing. So today's
Okay.
session only you were there, so that should be good. But yeah, whenever you want to
Because
share your
this is
screen,
the
either we'll.
big classes. So this is the big classes. They can share the video to anyone, right? So that's why
I know.
I'm.
I'll tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, today's session I'll ask them to crop. From
Mm-hmm.
next time, what we'll do is we'll kind of uh, like keep it to the end. We'll stop recording and then discuss whatever you want to.
Thank you, Azra. Thank you. Understanding my position because this is not the correct
No,
uh,
I
sharing
get
my.
it. We'll stop recording and we'll discuss whatever you want to share. Okay. Maybe during the
Thank you so
session
much.
we might not share your screen. So whenever you're done, we'll stop recording and then we'll discuss things. Okay.
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 Okay. Then
Okay.
you continue with your
We'll catch up
session. If
tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think today this is what I had. So we'll
Okay.
continue tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Azra. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Thanks. Yeah. Same to you. Thanks.